How you guys doing? We're gonna be training some tomatoes. You guys want to see what we're doing? So I've got 4 tomato plants, 2 different kinds, in 2 pots. I have a blue chocolate indeterminate variety. They're only gonna get about that big, and they're dark purple on the outside, and they're like a dark red inside. They're low acid. Some of the best tomatoes I've ever tasted. And then we have some sugar lump cherry tomatoes. Both varieties are indeterminates, so they grow from the growth tip at the top of the tomato plants. Okay, so they're just going to keep growing up this trellis. Now, let me spin this around here. You guys can see what I'm talking about. All right, so there's some of them. So basically what happens is it always grows from the very top, right? And just keeps growing up like a vine. And I'm using an old school technique. It's called espalier, to grow these things on the wall so they're growing up, but they're growing flat along the trellis netting. And they used to do that with fruit trees inside castles. They would plant like pear trees and whatever, and they would train the branches to grow flatter against the wall so they didn't encroach. Okay? So I'm doing the same thing here. So what I've done is I've selectively allowed certain suckers to grow so I can maximize the amount of fruit output on the plants without having to grow more plants. So some suckers I've removed, and some of them I've selectively allowed to grow, and then we're also tying those to the trellis netting. So you guys want to see what I'm talking about? This is the sugar lump. This is the blue chocolate. Okay? So we have 2 plants in each pot, and they're getting tied. Oh, stepping on stuff here. I'm running out of room. See how they're all tied to the trellis netting, and they're flat. You see how they're flat against the trellis? I'm not allowing them to grow out. Okay? So I know it's kind of jungly looking. I know it looks like there's a lot of vegetation in there, right? And there is up to a point. But one of the reasons why there's so much vegetation is, I'll show you why. So we have we'll do it with this one here. So you see we have our main stem, right? It comes up, it comes up, it comes up. Look at that beautiful fruit set. Oh baby, we're eating tomatoes real soon. Okay? And then it comes up to here. And then I've allowed this sucker to grow. And I've done the same. See, we train the sucker right up onto the trellis netting. And I've done that there. I've done that here. Right? And then on the plant beside it, I've allowed another sucker to grow. See? More fruit. More fruit. Got lots of flowers. So then, right? So we've just continued to allow certain suckers to grow. Here's another one. We're allowing that to grow. And the reason I'm doing that is because those suckers are going to start producing fruit for me as well. So if you're not aware, okay, here's the main stem, okay? All your fruit set grows on your main branch, okay? So that's our main branch. And this is where a sucker starts. There's a little one starting right there. You see it? So we're just going to pick that right out, just like that. But with a sucker, when they get to a certain size, they will start producing fruit on that stem as well. So if I didn't grow any suckers in here, I'm only going to be able to harvest the fruit that grows off the main stem. I'll give you more examples here. So there's our main vine. Okay, follow it up, follow it up, follow it up, follow it up. See? Flower cluster. You follow it up. Another flower cluster. Okay. Same on this one. Here's our main stem. We follow it up. Here's our, see, there's all the flowers. We follow that up some more. Right, so there's our flowers. So that's why we're allowing certain suckers to grow, so that way we can maximize the output potential of the plants. And the benefit to growing indeterminate varieties is that as long as you have enough nutrients, right, they will just continue to put out fruit. It's different from a determinate variety, because a determinate variety has a set determined height and a set determined amount of fruit set. So determinate varieties are great if you want a bunch of tomatoes all at one time, basically to make spaghetti sauce or sloppy joe mix or salsa. They're great for that. But then once that fruit set is over, it's finished, right? So I don't grow any determinate varieties. They're all indeterminates. And my longest determinate variety was 13 feet. I pulled it out of the ground and I measured it with a tape measure. So 13 feet tall. So it will just continue to grow and grow and grow and grow. And look at that. That plant, that vine tip right there is like 3 inches from that light. So what's going to happen is eventually when that gets a little too tall and creeps past the top of the light, I'm going to cut the growth tip off of that and it will not grow any taller. It'll redirect all of its energy back to producing on the plant. And that one is almost ready to have the top clipped off. So to train your suckers, and I'll show you where they grow. Let's find a good example. Ah, perfect. Okay, so here's our main stem. Here's our branch with our sun leaves on it, right? And then this is where your sucker grows. And it does not put out a fruit set where the sucker grows. Your fruit set always just grows right off the main stem. See, there's no sunleaf branch here, right? But I've taken the branch off here and you see we've got a little sucker growing. So to train these, all you have to do is choose which suckers you're going to grow and which you don't. And the ones you don't want, you just break off. They come off real easy. So I'm always in here just looking up and down the plants, finding all these little suckers that I don't want and picking them off. And then what I'm doing with these leaves is I'm cleaning up the bottom ones as I go. See, once they get to a certain point, I just remove them. They start to get old and raggedy, and I'm also trying to prevent too much of this happening, which is a little challenging. So that's why I'm always just selectively pruning what I'm doing and where I'm taking suckers off. So all you do is you just, once you've done this for a while, your eyes will just pick these things out like it's got a great big LED light pointing right at it. So you just scan your eyes up, see? There's a little start of a sucker. Just pick that out. There's another little one, see? Gone. Up and down the branches. See, here's a little tiny one. Right there. Gone. Move over to the next plant. See, beautiful fruit set right there. I don't know if you guys can tell in the picture. See the stripes? Look at that. How pretty is that? So then we just do the same thing. Come down here, we get that. And you will also have this happen with your indeterminate varieties. They'll start putting out suckers right down at the ground level. So just pick those out. Gone. So you just work your way up the plant. Nothing there, nothing there. See? There's another one. We don't want that. Gonzo. Off to the next plant. Work your way up the stem. Up the stem. See? Here's where I allowed a sucker to grow, and it's almost the same diameter now as the main stem is. See? Another fruit set. Another little sucker gone. You just work your way up the plant like this. There's another one. And then we have the last sucker I'm going to allow to grow on this plant is right here. And in a couple of days when it's a little taller, I'll just clip it right off to that. So that's how I'm training. Oh, and look at that. We need to straighten this one out. It's all bent over. There we go. So I'll just clip that onto here. And the whole point here is to have them all basically, if you look at them, okay, we've got vine and vine and vine and vine. You know, we've got this one and this one and this one, and they're all following. I'm tying them off to these so they can't meander all over the place. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how I am maximizing the fruit sets on my 4 tomato plants in my basement greenhouse. So I'm looking forward to having toasted tomato sandwiches when these bad boys are ready, and the cherry tomatoes will be going into salads. So hope you guys have a great day. Hope you learned something, and grow good food. And if you like what you see and you're new here, hit that subscribe button, and let's all do this together, okay? All right, see ya. Bye.